How I overcame failure. Failure and I have been longtime companions. In fact, I believe failure has been one of my greatest teachers, perhaps even more faithful than success. Most people know me as the founder of Alibaba, one of the largest e-commerce platforms in the world. But what many don't see is the long, often painful road that led me here, marked not by easy wins, but by rejection, disappointment, and repeated failure. Let me take you back to the beginning. 1. A series of rejections. I was born in Hangzhou, China in 1964. My family was not wealthy. My father was a traditional musician and storyteller, and though we lived modestly, my parents gave me something far more valuable than money: belief in hard work and perseverance. When I was a teenager, I was fascinated by English. Every morning for 9 years, I rode my bicycle for 40 minutes to a hotel where I could practice English with foreign tourists. I offered free tours in exchange for conversation. It wasn't just language I was learning. It was how to connect with people, how to think globally, and how to be curious about the world. Still, failure came knocking again and again. I failed my primary school exams twice. I failed the middle school entrance exam 3 times. I applied to Harvard 10 times and was rejected every single time. When I finished school, I applied for jobs. Out of 30 applications, 29 rejected me. Even KFC turned me down. Out of 24 people who applied, 23 were hired. I was the only one rejected. I still remember that. I also applied to be a police officer. They told me I wasn't good enough. Now, think about that for a moment. How does it feel to be the only one left out time after time? It's not just discouraging, it shakes your confidence. You begin to ask, is something wrong with me? But I learned something very important. Rejection is not the end of your story. It's only a part of the process. 2. The road to entrepreneurship. After many job failures, I became an English teacher at a local university. I loved teaching, but deep inside, I still had dreams. I was curious about the internet. The first time I used it was in the U.S. in 1995. I searched for beer and found American, German, Japanese beer, but no Chinese beer. That was the moment I realized China had no presence online. That was the spark. When I returned home, I decided to start an internet company. I gathered 17 of my friends in my apartment and told them about my idea. Let's create a platform for Chinese businesses to connect with the world, I said. Most thought I was crazy, but I believed in the idea. I believed that even though I didn't understand technology very well, I could bring people together who did. We launched Alibaba in 1999. Was it an instant success? Absolutely not. We faced huge challenges. We had no money. We didn't have a great team in the beginning. I had no experience in running a business. Venture capitalists rejected us. Competitors like eBay entered the Chinese market with more resources, more money, and more recognition. Many times I asked myself, is this another failure in the making? But every failure before had prepared me for this moment. I had learned how to survive failure. I had learned not to give up when things seemed impossible. 3. Lessons failure taught me. So how did I overcome failure? Let me break it down into lessons that have stayed with me. 1. Failure is a test of your spirit. It's not just about whether you fail, it's about how you respond. Will you give up, or will you try again? The world doesn't owe you success. You have to earn it, and you earn it by standing up every time you fall. 2. Rejection is redirection. When Harvard rejected me, I felt useless. But years later, I spoke at Harvard. Life has a funny way of working out. What looks like a closed door might actually be pushing you toward your true path. 3. Surround yourself with the right people. When I started Alibaba, I didn't hire the best resumes. I hired people who believed in the mission. We were poor, inexperienced, and often laughed at. But we had heart. That made the difference. 4. Stay true to your vision. People will laugh at your dreams. That's okay. You must see what others cannot. In the beginning, no one believed in Alibaba, not even ourselves sometimes. But I never let go of the vision. I knew the internet would change China. I knew small businesses needed a voice. 5. Never complain, never give up. This is my motto. Complaining changes nothing. When things go wrong, ask, what can I do now? What lesson can I take from this? 4. From nobody to somebody. Alibaba eventually grew. We faced near bankruptcy during the dot-com bubble, but we adapted. We kept listening to our users, we kept innovating, and most importantly, we kept going. In 2014, Alibaba went public on the New York Stock Exchange. It became the largest IPO in history at the time, from a tiny apartment in Hangzhou to a global business. I don't say this to boast. I say this to remind you. The man who was rejected from KFC built a billion-dollar company. If I can do it, so can you. 5. To everyone facing failure right now. Maybe you failed an exam. Maybe you didn't get the job you wanted. Maybe someone told you that you're not good enough. I've been there, many times. But remember, failure is not a tattoo. It is a bruise, and bruises heal. Success is not about talent or luck. It's about resilience. It's about learning, adapting, and standing back up when the world pushes you down. So the next time failure comes your way, welcome it like an old friend. Say, I see you, I've learned from you, and I'm not stopping here. Because sometimes failure is not the opposite of success. It is the beginning of it.